الله الرحمن الرحيم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته. You are all welcome back to the online learning government class. I think last week we discussed about centralization and decentralization, which we used as a revision in order to put you on track for the beginning of this third time activity. Also, I think you people were given course outline, that is the map through which this third time we follow. How we are going to continue our lecture, the lesson, the topic that will be treated, that we are going to be treated as we are going on, was given to you that very last week for you to discuss or to just continue your own learning ahead the class. I think the student that knows what exactly he wants for him or herself supposed to have prepared him or herself before the class. That is the essence of giving you that scheme of work. I think I told you vividly last week that by God's will, this week, today, we will be discussing about human rights. That is fundamental human rights as the topic that we are going to discuss this week, inshallah. You can see that it's appear on the board. What exactly do we mean by saying fundamental human rights? From the definition written on the board for you, definition of fundamental human rights can be defined as inalienable natural rights and privileges enjoyed by the citizens of a country. This is what we are saying. Inalienable natural rights and the privileges enjoyed by the citizens of a country. Which means before you can enjoy all these fundamental human rights that we are talking about, you must be a what? A citizen of that particular country. A citizen of that particular country. And at the same time, all these things that we are regarded as a fundamental human right are those things that we refer to as inalienable, and we shall also call them natural rights. So although there are some privileges that we derive, that we need to enjoy from the government of that particular country. That is what exactly we refer to as fundamental human rights. Now, we need to look into some of these. What are these fundamental human rights that we are talking about? We are going to be taking them one after the other. We are going to be taking them one after the other. One, some of these rights enjoyed by the citizens are right to life. This is one of the natural freedom that we have. We regard to it as what? One of the rights that we must enjoy. This one is natural. Because it is God that gives life, and at the same time, it is God that takes life. So, we all what? Have ability, or we have access to life, because it's natural gifts from God to each and every one of us. Another right that we also enjoy, right to security and protection from inhuman treatment. Right to security and protection from inhuman treatment. What this one is talking about is this. When we say inhuman, all those things that are what? That are bad. That is bad behaviors. Like stealing, kidnapping, and all sorts of all those negative things. Beating unlawfully. All these are inhuman treatments that can occur from environment. So therefore, the citizens of a particular country have that right to what? To security and protection from inhuman treatment. Another one we want to talk about is freedom from slavery. Be you whatever we are, be you whatever you are. You must not at any time take somebody to be your slave. You must not at any time take somebody to be your slave, because it's part of the fundamental human right that each and every citizen of a country must have. And at the same time, no matter how rich you are, or any position you might have acquired, you must not take anybody, any human being, as your slave. Another point that we'll be looking at is the right to seek redress. The right to seek redress in court. This one is simply telling us, in case your right may be infringed by another citizen, for you to get redress, you need to file that case in the court, so that your right can be what? Can be redressed. You can seek that redress in the court of law by filing that case to the court of law, whereby the judges or the lawyer needs to attend to that particular case, so that to ascertain whether you are guilty of that allegation or not. If at all you are not guilty, that person is just trying to cheat you, the court will assist you to get that redress by the lawyers, whereby they will quote the necessary paragraph or the case where it is written in the Constitution that whoever does that act should be liable for a certain punishment. So that is how you can seek for redress in the law court. We also mentioned another freedom, which is what? Freedom from unlawful detention and imprisonment. Freedom from unlawful detention and imprisonment. This one is telling us that at any point in time, we must not be what? Not be detained unlawfully or put in the cell or put us in prison for nothing's sake. If at all someone needs to be detained or imprisoned, he or she must be confirmed guilty of the offense being levied against him before he or she can be what? Can be considered being detained or imprisoned. So unlawful detention and imprisonment, people must flee from them. Another one that we can also discuss here is freedom of movement. Freedom of movement. As a citizen of a country, that freedom is there for you to move. Because there is no law says that you should not move. That movement, you are free to move to anywhere, to any distance, as long as you are not act as an obstacle to another person. So that freedom of movement is there for you. One of another fundamental human right is freedom of expression. This one is telling us that whatever is in your mind, you are free to voice out, to state whatever you will say, whatever you want to say, regards to any issue that are on ground. So that freedom of expression is there for you to express yourself. Whatever your view, your thought, you can voice out whatever you have in your mind. Another one is freedom of joining and forming association. Freedom of joining and forming association. As a member of a state or as a citizen of a particular country, you are free to join any association inasmuch as you have the agreement within yourself regards to what the association is being made for. So there is freedom of association. You are free to associate among yourselves. Another point that we need to discuss here is freedom of press. Freedom of press. That is, this one is talking about the journalists, referring to the journalists. How do they normally do their work? That is, whatever happens, the press have that ability to report, to just write whatever happens on the journal, either the newspaper, through the newspaper, or through the radio, or through any kind of social media by which the information can be transferred to the people or to the masses. So that freedom must be there as a fundamental human right of each and every citizen of a country. Also, we have another one here, right to acquire and own immovable properties. Right to acquire and own immovable properties. That is, as a citizen of a particular country, you have that right to acquire the property and also immovable properties also, like land, as long as you are with your C of O, certificate of ownership, in case of landed property. So your C of O, that is certificate of occupancy, which shows that what? That land as a property, you own it. So that is that regards to the immovable property, like that of land. Now, we need to examine some things, which is a limitation to fundamental human rights. All these rights that we spell out, there are some limitations to fundamental human rights. So we have limitation to them. There are some things that will be points that will limit us in order not to enjoy that freedom. So which we are going to be examining one after the other. I think number one is war. War. Human rights are not respected in a war. In a war situation, as the soldiers are free to shoot and kill and maim people during the war. This one is telling us that during the war, you can see, soldiers are given free, they even have that right to shoot at times, even kill. So all this one has already what? Have a limitation to our freedom of life, and at the same time freedom to movement. So all this one are the what? Are the something that what limits our freedom. That is to life and at the same time to movement. If you are asked not to go to a particular place, if you go, the soldiers might not mind to do whatever they like. So that is one of the limits to our freedom. I think number two that we need to examine here, state of emergency. There will be restriction of movement wherever there is a declaration of a state of emergency. There won't be any movement at all if the government says that from 11 a.m., 7 a.m. till 5 p.m. whatever you need to do, you ought to have get it done and go inside. Any movement from 5 p.m., nobody should go against it by saying that simply because you have freedom of movement, you will not respect that that emergency situation. So that one shows that what we must obey that instruction, so that we will not blame ourselves. Another point that restricts or that limits our freedom of fundamental human rights is trespass. A citizen has no right to unlawfully enter another person's property. a citizen has no right to enter another person's property. That is, in a situation whereby somebody, for example, build a house, and the house was fenced, where the builder of that particular house says that nobody should enter into his compound. You must not say because you have that freedom of movement, you will go and enter into that person's compound. By so doing, definitely you have already trespassed. So therefore, under the court of law, you are guilty of that particular offense. You must not trespass. Where you are asked not to go, don't ever go there. Or wherever you see a sign along the road sign that may be roadside that you should not pass through this place, that is restriction. You must respect that law. You shouldn't trespass. You shouldn't trespass. That is another limitation to our movement. Another point that we'll be discussing here is prevention of spread of deadly disease. In a case of deadly disease, where government is trying to prevent us from being contact this kind of disease, look at, for example, COVID-19, as it's affecting all of us now, popularly known as coronavirus. That is what makes you people to stay at home now. Ordinarily, you're supposed to have been in the various schools attending this lecture. But as a result of this emergency of this COVID-19, the government tried the effort to just restrict the movement of people by asking us to stay home and be doing whatever we want to do. And so also there are some other things that we are being restricted from, that we should not do. All these are still a what? Avenue through which government can curtail, can reduce the spread of this deadly disease. So this can also be regarded as what? Factors that limit the fundamental human rights. Another point that we need to mention here is in case of murder, in a situation whereby somebody just kills someone unlawfully, that one has to what? Has put a stop to freedom to life. It has destroyed, it has stopped that person's life, which the government also needs to do justice to such a person. As we all know that whoever kills also must also he or she also must be killed. So you can see how it affects one of the fundamental human rights that we have, which is what? Freedom to life. By the time that person terminates that life, that is the end of that life. So you can see how it affects, how it limits the freedom to life, the right to life. I think if you consult your textbook, you may get as many as possible other limitations that have been written there. We will go to another subheading now. Factors that safeguard the liberty and freedom of individuals. factors that safeguard the liberty and the freedom of individual. 1. Law. This is an important condition. This is an important condition to the liberty of an individual. In a situation whereby the law is in existence, all these fundamental human rights that we are talking about must have been what? Enshrined in the constitution of that particular country. What we are saying is that what? That constitution also will spell them out, which will serve as safeguard whenever any of these laws, any of these fundamental is being tried to what? To tamper with. So the constitution will assist to clarify that what? That law, that fundamental human rights should not be tampered with. All this must be what? Must be enshrined in our constitution. Number 2, independence of judiciary. In a situation whereby our judiciary are not what? Are not depend on anybody or for favor or any kind of what? Any kind of favoritism. The fundamental human right of every individual is guaranteed, because the judiciary will not, in favor of anybody at all, says what they are not supposed to say, because it's already there written in the constitution or the law of any country, all these fundamental human rights. If the judiciary are not in favor of anybody and they are free to do the justice to the case, definitely the fundamental human right of each and every individual is guaranteed. I think another point that we need to examine here is fundamental human right itself. Written constitution has already what? Include in the constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, just like Nigeria as an example. In our constitution, all these fundamental human rights are written in our constitution. All these fundamental human rights are written in our constitution and must not be tampered with anyhow, except if there is an emergency situation like what we are experiencing currently in our country. Another point that we need to look at here is democracy. It also safeguards the fundamental human rights. As we all know that what? Power is with the masses, and so freedom is guaranteed. Power is for the masses, and so power is guaranteed. They themselves, as a citizen of the country, knows what is good for them. If they say this is what they abide with, definitely it will surely come to be. So that is that regards to democracy. Power distribution is another point by which liberty or fundamental human right of an individual can be what? Can be safeguarded. That is power distribution. By the time the power is being distributed, decentralized, sure, the power will not reside in a single central body. Once it has been decentralized, they too will be able to do what they were capable of doing in their own domain by doing some things that people in the community will enjoy, by safeguarding their their fundamental human rights themselves through the power they too are controlling in their domain. I think these are the few points under this factor that safeguard the liberty and the freedom of an individual in a state. By the time you consult your textbooks more, I think you'll be able to find more of these factors that can safeguard liberty or freedom of each and every individual in a country. Before I close for today, we end this lesson. I think I want to give you small assignments, which I think you will be seeing it in a written form, in a brief note that is going to accompany this lesson by God's mercy. So therefore, try as much as possible to make sure you read your book and make more research on each and every lesson that you listen to on this online learning program. I wish you all the best, and I pray that may God Almighty God quickly eradicate this deadly disease from our country or from the entire world for us, so that we can quickly resume back to our normal program in the school. Inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Assalam.